Hi everybody, hope you are all fine. This is Atiq. I welcome all of you to my YouTube channel Engineering Drive. Today I am going to discuss about Dijkstra's algorithm for shortest paths. Okay, by observing the side heading itself, you might have got idea that what this algorithm will do. What is the purpose of using this algorithm? Okay, my dear students, we will be given one graph. Okay, what we need to find out? We need to find out the shortest path. Shortest path in the sense from source to destination. We should start from source vertex and we should reach to the destination vertex. Okay, what is the most possible shortest way we can reach to the destination, that we need to find out. So this algorithm will work based on the principle of vertices and edges as usual. Okay, our graph should be in the form of G is equal to V comma E. You know, already I have told you about what is the use of graphs in my one of the video in my playlist of data structures. You can go ahead and watch about that. Okay, so our graph is a combination of vertices and edges, and in order to find out the shortest path by using Dijkstra's algorithm, there is one condition: edges must be non-negative. You know what is the meaning of non-negative here? I think you have understood that all the edges must have the cost in terms of positive number only. There should not be negative number on the edges. Okay, that is one condition. And one more thing is the graph must be a directed weighted graph. Okay, so the graph must have the directions on the edges, as well as the edges must have non-negative cost associated with it. If these two conditions are there on the particular graph, then we can able to find out the shortest path by using Dijkstra's algorithm. Okay, my dear students, let us take one example. This is the graph, and from this graph, you know that, let us see whether this matches the condition of Dijkstra's algorithm or not. The first condition of Dijkstra's algorithm is the edges must be directed one. So we can see here the edges are directed edges only, so no problem. And the cost associated on each edge should be non-negative number. Now you can see here, this is a positive, this is positive, this is positive, all the numbers are positive numbers. So both conditions are satisfied, which means we can able to find out the shortest path now. Okay, sir, what is the meaning of shortest path? Okay, let me tell you, my dear students, shortest path is nothing but we need to travel source to destination in minimum cost method. What is the meaning of minimum cost method? You can see that to travel from vertex 1 to vertex 3, what is the cost associated to this edge? Cost associated is 3. Okay, to travel from vertex 3 to vertex 7, the cost associated is 9. Hope you have understood this one. So to travel from one vertex to another vertex, there is an edge, and on every edge there is cost associated to it. Okay, what is the meaning of shortest path? Shortest path doesn't mean that from source to destination there should be less number of vertices in between. You don't get confused with this one. Some students will get misunderstood with the word. They can say, sir, shortest, let me clarify one thing. Which is the source vertex in this graph? Okay, source vertex we have taken in this graph is 1. Destination vertex is 9. Now I want to travel from source vertex and I want to reach to destination vertex. Now what is the shortest path now between 1 to 9? That I want to know. So my dear students, I will say shortest path from 1 to 9 is this one: 1 to 3, 3 to 7, 7 to 8, 8 to 6, and 6 to 9. This is my shortest path that I have found out by seeing the graph. Now some of you will argue with me, sir, this is not the correct answer, sir, because how many vertices are there? You can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So totally 6 vertices are there, including source and destination vertices. Okay, how many? 6. 6 vertices. Now, sir, there is one more shortest path is there. What is that? From 1 to 2, 2 to 5, 5 to 6, 6 to 9. So how many vertices are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So totally we have only 5 vertices. Okay, how many we have? Totally we have 5 vertices. So this is the shortest path, no sir? So my dear students, this is the point that you need to remember the difference here. Shortest path does not mean less number of vertices. Shortest path means you need to see the weight or cost associated on the edges, which means you add here this one. As you are saying, this will be the shortest path. 5 plus 7, how much? 12. 12 plus 8, 20. 20 plus 4, 24. So what we got, the total cost of the total cost of all these edges, we got 24 as the answer. Okay, clear. Next. Now I told this is the shortest one. Now you calculate. 2 plus 9, 11 plus 2, 13 plus 3, 16 plus 4, 20. So you can see, compared to this path produces the less cost on the particular edges, which means we got here answer 20, whereas the path which is having less number of vertices cost the answer 24. Now which one is the shortest path? Now this one is the, of course, is the shortest path. The shortest path is nothing but on which all the edges produces least number of cost. If the edges produces a least number of cost, when you add the cost of all the edges, then that is termed as the shortest path. So Dijkstra's algorithm does not count the vertices to find the shortest path. Dijkstra's algorithm counts the cost associated with the edges. What our Dijkstra's algorithm will do, it will add all the costs. So 2 it will add, plus 9, 11, plus 2, 13, plus 3, 16, and plus 4, 20. So the shortest path in this particular graph is from 1 to 3, 3 to 7 vertex, 7 to 8 vertex, 8 to 6 vertex, and 6 to 9 vertex. This is the shortest path according to Dijkstra's algorithm. So my dear students, Dijkstra's algorithm does not make use of vertices in order to find the shortest path. It makes use of edges to determine the shortest path by adding all the cost related to the particular edges. Okay, and then you can see here the answer. The minimum distance of vertex 9 from vertex 1 is 20, and the path is which we have traveled 1 to 3, 3 to 7, 7 to 8, 8 to 6, and 6 to 9. This entire graph can be represented in the form of a tabular structure also. Okay, we can see here the entire vertices, whatever the vertices are there, all those vertices we can represent in the stepwise fashion, and we can fill these values also. So the 2 points that need to remember is the end vertex is represented by a symbol infinity, and the start vertex is represented by a symbol 0. That you need to remember. This is the starting vertex represented by 0, and these are nothing but the end vertex represented by infinity. Okay, and what we have done here, we have not done anything different here or difficult here. From see here, from vertex 1, what are the outgoing edges? From vertex 1, one outgoing edge is the cost associated is 5. One more edge, the cost associated is 2. So from vertex 1, this is vertex 1, cost associated is 5. One more cost associated is 2. The cost associated 5 is going towards the vertex 2, and the cost associated 2 which is going to vertex 3. Okay, like this we need to fill this entire table. Okay, so that it will be easy for us to find out the shortest path. But many times we can able to find out the shortest path by seeing the graph itself. What you simply need to do, don't count the number of vertices, simply count the edges and add the cost related to it. If you get the less number of cost, then that is the shortest path according to Dijkstra's algorithm. So my dear students, hopefully the concept of Dijkstra's algorithm has been clear to you. What is the main purpose of Dijkstra's algorithm? To find out the shortest path in a graph. So you need to consider the source vertex, and then you need to consider the destination vertex, and you need to determine the shortest path by adding the cost related to all the edges. If it produces the route or the path which produces the least cost, that is the shortest path according to Dijkstra's algorithm. So with this, let me close my today's session of video. See you soon everybody. Take care. Allah Hafiz.